Knicks fans, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Simeon Russell. We just saw the Knicks pull off a decent win versus the Phoenix Suns to go 3-4 on their West Coast road trip. And we're going to get into this. Let's talk. What's poppin', people? How you feeling tonight? Hopefully much better than last night. We finally won a game that we were supposed to win. Should have won. Well, let me not say supposed to win. I'm going to pull back on that because we don't know what games we're supposed to win or not, or if we're even supposed to win games. Let's just celebrate that we got to win. That's what I'm doing now. Celebrating we got the win. You know, and honestly, I hate to be down even though we got a win, but there was a point in the game where I wasn't even sure we was going to pull this win out. In the first half, when they kind of closed that gap a little bit, brought it back down to 3, the lead back down to 3, I was a little bit nervous, but hey, we did it. Let's celebrate it. Let's be happy about it. But we got some things to talk about. But first, let's talk about the game. We won by, what we win by? 20 whatever points. Great way to close out the road trip. Playing against probably the worst defense in the NBA. That's probably something that we needed. Maybe it's something that we needed to help jog us up a little bit. Maybe this was what we needed to give us a little bit of a spark. We'll see. We'll see. But it came at the perfect time. We definitely couldn't afford to go 8 games below 500. You know what I'm saying? We're 7 games below 500. Or 6 games below 500 now. Definitely couldn't afford to go 8 games below 500. We fought that off. Now we play Brooklyn. Another team that we can beat. We have beat. Pull ourselves back in the 5 games below 500 if we can beat Brooklyn. So, you know, I'm not making any kind of predictions. I'm just going to hang my hat on this win and what could come of it. We still did see, though, even though we held the Suns to 85 points, we still did see stretches where, you know, the Knicks defense was loose. You know, loose. But overall, we played well. But we got to clean up these loose stretches, especially in the first half. You know, we were up by, 11, 12, 13 points or whatever it was. We let them climb back into the game. Their second unit helped them to climb back into the game in the first half. You know, bring it all the way back down to 3. But, you know, we get loosey-goosey on defense. Against a team like the Phoenix Suns, maybe any team in the league can afford to get loosey-goosey on defense because the Phoenix Suns are terrible. When we get loosey-goosey on defense against good teams, we see what happens. We've got to clean it up. We've got to shore it up. You know, we got to clean up that defense. But we did hold them to 85 points. And a lot of that is because Devin Booker, you know, he was playing out of position tonight, playing that point guard spot. And, you know, that kind of, he was probably thinking a little bit too much out there and couldn't get off the way he usually gets off. You know. But let's applaud our team. I'm applaud our team. I know I'm sounding kind of grouchy, you know, but it's hard for me to get up and get too happy over, you know, beating a team like the Suns. But I'm going to take them when I get them. I'll take them when I get them. You know, I just don't want to jump off the bridge and say, oh, we're back. You know what I'm saying? We're about to make this playoff run. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just going to stay cool, be happy that we won, take it game by game. You know what I'm saying? Take it game by game and hope that we can continue to play and that maybe this is one of the sparks that we needed. Trey Burke is definitely a spark. You know, Trey Burke, again, showed up tonight. You know, we got to like what we're seeing from the young fella. Only 25 years old. He's got time to grow more, but he showed up again. You know, Trey Burke, 18 points, 3 assists, and he only played 17 minutes. Again, Jarrett Jack leads our point guards in minutes with 21. You know, there's some questions there. You know, there's also some, you know, I'm having problems with Hornacek and the way he's treating Frank. I don't like that he pulls him so quick. He has such a short leash with Frank. You know, I don't think it's, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You know what I mean? Frank needs to be on the floor playing. And, you know, when you pull him because he made, you know, he had 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers in the second quarter, I believe it was. And then you pull him because of that? That doesn't make sense to me. You know, I mean, 2 turnovers is 2 turnovers. You know, you got to let the guy play. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. You got to let him play. You got to let him play through it. Instead of pulling him and burying him on the end of the bench, you know, you pull him to the side and say, calm down, Rook. You say, let's get it together. You'll be okay. You'll be good. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You know, I'm happy that Trey Burke is doing what he's doing. And, you know, I'm not, you know, Trey Burke deserves to play. But Frank should be on the floor. Frank deserves to play as well. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, if anything, because, you know, of his defense. Frank is a turnover machine. Okay. I wouldn't say that. He may turn the ball over at times because he's a rookie, you know, but, you know, all rookies do. You know, that's part of the growth of a rookie in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he's a turnover machine. He had 2 turnovers tonight. You know, there's been nights where he has had high turnovers. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But you got to play him. You got to let him play through it. You know what I mean? You're going to have turnovers when you're a rookie. That's natural. It's the natural course of growing up in the NBA. You're going to have turnovers. You know what I'm saying? He's not the first person to have turnovers. It won't be the last. You know, but if you don't teach somebody, you know, how to stand up to it, you know, then you're gonna, you know, then you're gonna stunt. You're gonna help to stunt their development. I disagree that he kills the momentum. As a matter of fact, when Frank went out in the second quarter, the Knicks were up by like 11 points. So I disagree. You know what I'm saying? Then more subs came in, and next thing you know, it was a 3-point game. You know, it was a 3-point game. You know, all this G League stuff, I wish we would kill it. You know what I'm saying? People, just because somebody doesn't perform every single night doesn't mean that they need to be in the G League. There's plenty of players in the NBA. Plenty of players in the NBA that don't perform every night, but they're not in the G League. There's players in the NBA that don't get as much playing time as Frank, but they're not in the G League. He's proved that he can. Well, I mean, what's the G League going to do? Listen, Frank averaged the same amount of points over in France that he's averaging now. It's the type of player that he is. You know what I'm saying? And this is the player that we have. You know what I mean? Yep, I agree. Frank's got to be more aggressive. I agree with that. No qualms with that. He's got to be more aggressive going to the basket. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's got to be more aggressive going to the basket. You know, but if we're talking about, yeah, we want to try to get into the playoffs, but we're also talking about the future. You know what I'm saying? We're also talking about developing for the future. You got to know how to do both. And I feel like right now, you know, Hornacek, I mean, he's done it all season, not just because Trey Burke is here. You know what I'm saying? He's done it all season where he just has a short plug. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I don't think that's how you teach someone how to handle themselves when they are struggling. You give him a chance to work it out. I don't think he'll learn to be more aggressive in the G League. How can you learn to be more aggressive in the G League if you're playing against players that are not as talented or are not as aggressive as players that you're playing against in the NBA? Trey Burke didn't learn to be aggressive by playing in the G League. Trey Burke had to go to the G League to get his head straight. You know what I'm saying? To get that straight. That's why Trey Burke was in the G League. Trey Burke is already an aggressive player. You know what I'm saying? Frank has the ability. He just needs to change his mindset a little bit to an NBA game, to an American game. That is what he needs to do. But he's going to go and play against less talented players, and we think that's going to make him be more aggressive? No, that's just going to prove that he can go to the basket against less talented players, in my opinion. It's like taking a player that's on a varsity level basketball team and say, you go play with the JV. And they go play in the JV and score 20 points a game. And then everyone's like, oh, now they're ready to play in the NBA, or now they're ready to play varsity. And they come back and play varsity and they do the same thing that they were doing before. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's two different levels of play. From the NBA, from JV to varsity, varsity to JV. It's two different levels of play. It's the same thing with the NBA. It's two different levels of play. And if we say we want him to become aggressive, so we're going to have him play with less aggressive players? With players that do not play defense as well? That's going to help him become more aggressive? I don't think so. He's got to learn to do it against players that he's supposed to play against for his career. And he's proven that he can do it. It's his mindset right now that prevents him from doing it, not the physical ability. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Tony Crow, you say Frank will learn from Burke. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I really do. Do we actually think that Frank is going to be able to practice against players with the same speed as Trey Burke in the G League? Is he going to have to defend players like that in the G League? No. You know what I'm saying? Frank, think about it. When they practice, he's practicing against NBA level talent. He's got to man up and play and play, a little more aggressive. We agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of being a rookie in the NBA. Plenty of rookies in the league right now not playing minutes, but they're not in the G League. That summer circuit. There we go, Justin. Get in that summer circuit. He'll get more aggressive and he'll learn. I just don't think the G League is the answer for him. I don't think the G League is going to make him change his game right now. I think he needs to stay where he is. Clever for sure. Yeah, Trey was in the G League, but it had nothing to do with his basketball skills. That's not the reason he was in the G League. I'm saying Trey was in the G League because of this up here. He needed to get some things straight up here, and he needed to rededicate himself to the basketball game. You know what I mean? That's the reason why Trey Burke was in the G League, because he needed to rededicate himself. A la wise, you say, hey, you're right about his mindset, but less playing time will let him value his minutes more. and he gets more aggressive. You know what? I agree with you there. I definitely agree. You know what I'm saying? Him seeing himself on the bench and make him say, damn, I better do something. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And I think seeing Trey Burke come up and play some minutes is probably making him think. You know, I was looking at him on the bench a little bit. Sometimes he looked a little dejected. My issue is this with Jeff Hornacek. You got to give him a chance to make some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We could take this all the way down to, like preschool, okay? You got preschool kids. What do? You let them make mistakes so that they learn. If you take a child and you're constantly saving them from themselves, they don't learn. They won't learn because you're constantly saving them. You got to let them fall so they learn how to get back up. That's what I don't like about Jeff having such a quick hook and then deciding I'm not going to put you back in the game at all. Trey Burke came in the fourth quarter. He killed it. Knicks had a 25-point lead. He doesn't put Frank back in until 3 minutes left in the game. That's ridiculous to me. Javar 1, 2, 3. I agree. I like seeing Burke and Frank on the floor at the same time as well. You know, I think it's a good combination. Good combination. Jason Forbes, he said he's been making mistakes all season. He has, and Jeff snatches them right out for the most part. He snatches them right out. You know what I'm saying? You got to let him play through those sometimes. That's in my opinion. You got to let him play through those. You know, he has 1 or 2 turnovers. You know, instead of snatching them out, he goes to the end of the bench and nobody even talks to him about it. You know, maybe you pull him over and you say, hey, what's going on? Maybe you got to watch this. Maybe you got to watch that. Let's go get it. You know what I'm saying? You're my guy. Come on, Rook. You know, maybe some of that. Maybe a little bit more encouragement. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then if he's still doing it, then you say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna sit you down because you got to get your head together. Remember, Jeff Hornacek keeps saying it, not us. I'm gonna tell you why, Clever, for sure, because Hornacek is saying it himself. The fans aren't saying it. Hornacek, Steve Mills, Scott Perry saying it. What are they saying? This year is about youth development. If we make the playoffs, that's fine. That's great. And as fans, we want to make the playoffs. But this year is supposed to be about youth development, developing the youth. That is the main goal. That's what the team says. Not me, not us. That's what the team says. It's about youth development. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to be about. So, yeah, so if you're developing the youth, you've got to play them. You've got to encourage them. Discipline them when they need to be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Arashi Kumo, you know what? Man, you don't dictate it. We're going to get the players that helped us win. You know what I'm saying? Frank has helped us win games too. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. I think that, you know, I just don't like the way Jeff Hornacek is doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from my perspective, my philosophy as a coach. You know, my philosophy as a coach. And that's the way that I see it. So, tonight, what did we do? Looking at the box score, Tim Hardaway, you know, hopefully his neck is all right. You know, Devin Booker was getting a little bit mad tonight. You know, little bit frustrated and upset maybe because he was playing out of position. So yeah, and I actually think that Devin Booker, he took that foul on. He pushed Enes Kanter because he wanted to get out the game. You know what I'm saying? BN, I'm with you. I'm getting annoyed at that too. You know what I mean? I think, you got to let the youth play. They got the energy. They got the energy. But Tim Hardaway still had 34 minutes. Porzingis, 27 minutes. Kanter, 29 minutes. Lee, 26. Jarrett Jack, 21 minutes. Still led all point guards in minutes played. And he gave us 6 points, 5 assists. Kanter was a beast in the first half. Ended with 20 points, 10 rebounds. He was an unstoppable force in the first half. Unstoppable force. Frank played 9 minutes. I think that's unacceptable. Lance Thomas, 16 minutes. Michael Beasley, 18. Kyle O'Quinn, 17 minutes. Gave us 4 points, 5 rebounds. Trey Burke, 17 minutes, 18 points, 3 assists. McDermott gave us 14 minutes, 2 points. Doug McDermott he's in a slump, man. He's in a slump. And we need Hornacek to help him get out of it. You know what I mean? We need Hornacek to help him. I don't know. We had the one play that we run for him, but maybe we need to do some other things because we're gonna need. I think we need Doug McDermott to play well. We need his ability to stretch the floor. We need his ability to move off the ball. He's not gonna create for himself. Not gonna create for himself. You know what I mean? So I think that Coach Hornacek has got to do some things to help Doug McDermott out, help him get back to being the player he was in the beginning of the season. Kumo, you said, why doesn't Kanter play in the fourth quarter? Is it a stamina thing? I think that it's a defensive thing. And, a lot of times it's based off of matchups. Teams, they don't want Kanter in the game because Kanter is such a beast down low. He can score, on almost anybody in the NBA, shoot 60% from the field. And so they try to go small a lot. And when they go small, Kanter has a much tougher time guarding the perimeter. Now, tonight he wasn't really needed in the fourth quarter. But in the past, that's been the big reason why he hasn't played in the fourth quarter. If Kanter played in the fourth quarter and he was able to guard that perimeter or play better defense, knew his rotations defensively a little bit better, he'd be, he'd average 17, 18 points a game and 12, 13 rebounds, man, really. Harlem, 319, you say the fact that he started Ron Baker over Doug made absolutely no sense. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what he was thinking about with starting Ron Baker the other game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But, that was the story of the minutes of the game. I'm still not liking the minutes in this point guard disparity. It's crazy. And even if you wanted to, listen, Courtney Lee played 26 minutes, mainly because he didn't have to play in the fourth quarter much, But if you're looking at, you could come off the bench and have Trey Burke at the 1 or Trey Burke and Frank, switching off at the 1 and the 2. O'Quinn, Beasley, and Thomas. Really easy, you could. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you already played everybody, but, that is a simple lineup that you can come off the bench with. But he always keeps a starter in the game. So usually Courtney Lee. But I think he could come in with Burke and Frank, Lance, Beasley, O'Quinn. He could have them guys come in and run the second unit, and you would run Frank and Trey Burke together. And Trey Burke and Frank can still get their minutes because both players can go are versatile enough where they can play off the ball or they can play with the ball in their hands. You know what I'm saying? So Frank can still get some point guard duties while he's playing on the floor with Trey, and Trey still get point guard duties. They'll just within the flow of the game it'll happen, But it's Hornacek for you, and he's really making me mad. I'm really getting frustrated with Hornacek. Really getting frustrated with him. Matchups. Matchup. Let's just look at it. We scored 33 points in the first quarter. Mainly due to Cantor. I think Cantor had like 16 points or something like that in the first quarter. He was killing them in the first quarter. 20 points in the second. We let them cut that lead, so we only had a 4-point lead at halftime because our defense got a little loosey-goosey. Scored 28 in the third, 26 in the fourth. Defensively, we held them to 18 in both the third and the fourth quarter. Let's see. Biggest lead was 27. Phoenix never led, so we wire to wire win. That's nice. We won the boards 49-42. 25 assists, 7 steals, 10 block shots, 16 turnovers. We played a little bit faster. You're going to have a little bit more turnovers, but we got to take care of the ball. Got to take care of the ball. So, that was the story of the game. And I'm glad we got the win. I want to know how you guys feel about the road trip now. We went 3-4 on a road trip. Now, we know we've lost 14 of the last 19 games. We've only won 5 of the last 19 games. But 3 of those 5 have come, in this 7-game stretch. 3-4 in this 7-game stretch. 3-4 on the road trip. That's actually better on the road than we've been all season. How you guys feel about the road trip now? Earlier it was looking pretty. When the road trip started, we started the road trip winning 2 or 3. We thought, we felt like, okay, you know what? We had a chance. Could have beat the Lakers, right? We had a chance to maybe end this road trip with a winning record, but then we lost. Then we lose 3 straight. L.A., Golden State, Utah. Where we should have. We actually could have. If we were able to be gritty enough, we really could have ended this road trip 5-2 if we were that kind of team, and we probably should have ended this road trip 5-2. But losses to Utah and LA, that hurts. That hurts. If we're the team that we want to be vying for a playoff spot, losses to those teams hurts bad. But we kind of maybe rebounded a little bit, ending the road trip 3-4, come back home to play Brooklyn. And what do you think about it? Do you guys feel like this is that moment that maybe it turns around? I'm not sure. I'm not ready to say that. But what do you guys think? Do you think this road trip gives us some more confidence? Because we've been in the, losing 14 of 19 games. That's a bad slump. That's a bad slump. And yeah, exactly, Ishmael. We can't overlook the losses that we took on this road trip, because in a lot of these losses, we looked sluggish. You know what I'm saying? We looked sluggish and lazy a little bit. Famous, you say, nah, we're done. So this is just a win just because we played, like the Phoenix Suns. That's how you feel? It could be. Well, I'm just asking, BN. I'm just asking, because we did win 3 or 4. I mean, think about it. when you think about our our schedule, our road, when you think about our road wins, we only got 7 of them. 3 of them came on this road trip. Almost half of them came on this road trip. That's why I'm asking if this gave us any kind of confidence at all. You know, because we got half our road trip or half our road wins on this road trip. But I agree with you though. You know, we still are we still perform bad on this road trip. You know, we still perform pretty bad. We still, we had some performances that I felt were pretty much atrocious. And that if you're a team that you say you're vying for a playoff spot, you shouldn't have those kind of performances. So I'm definitely with you on that. Definitely. We are still one of the worst road teams in the league, for sure. Let me see something. Looking at the standings right now, we're 4.5 games out of that A spot, 26 and 23, and I'm not sure there's a way that we get there, but I think they're probably, they're gonna try to fight for a little while. I don't think we come back. We have 50 games in. We have 32 games left. Think about it. We've got to be at least 6 games above 500 in these next 30 games. So in these next 30 games, we've got to be like 18 and 12 or something just to be 500. I haven't really broken down the schedule and see who we play, see if there's 18 wins there. But it's going to be tough. Saucy, you say you think we can make a push. All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a look at our schedule. Right? Let's take a look at the schedule and see if, see if there's 18 wins in there. I'm not sure there is 18 wins. But let's take a look. And, we'll let you guys, I'm going to let you guys tell me if we got 18 wins. All right, so our next game, Brooklyn at home, win or loss. Is that a win or loss? You guys tell me. Remember, to go 500, we need to be 18 and 12 in the next 30 games. So let's say Brooklyn is a win. We'll take that. Let's say Brooklyn is a win. After Brooklyn, we play the Celtics. We would say that's probably going to be a loss. That's 1-1 right there. Milwaukee Bucks. Is that a win or a loss? I see. The Milwaukee Bucks. It's hard to say. That could be a close game. I don't know what's going on over there with, the coaching and all of that. Right? But if we, with the Milwaukee Bucks, well, in Milwaukee, I'm going to say a loss. Right? So I'm looking at that's 1-2. Atlanta Hawks at home, win. 2-2. Milwaukee Bucks at home, I'm going to take this one and say a win. I'm going to say we get this one back. All right? So that makes us 3-2. Toronto Raptors in Toronto, that's a loss. I'll take that. I'll say 3-3. Indiana, I'm gonna say a loss. That's 3-4. Philadelphia, I think that's a loss. 3-5. The Wizards at home, take that as a loss. 3-6. Orlando, I think we'll beat Orlando. 4-6. Boston Celtics at home, probably a loss. I'm going to say a loss. So that's, what was that? 4-7. Golden State, go back to Golden State, loss. 4-8. Clippers. Wow, the Clippers have climbed all the way back up to being 500. But I'm gonna chop that up as a loss. 4-9, because we're in LA. The Kings, I think we'll beat the Kings. Right? So that's 5-9. Trailblazers in Portland, loss. 5-10. So that's 15 games right there. 5-10. I don't think we do it. I don't think we get there. Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee, I take that as a loss. 5-11. Toronto Raptors in New York. You know what? I'll give us a win. I'm going to give us a win. Right? Say 6-11. Yeah, we already out the playoffs. Right? Dallas in New York, 7-11. Philadelphia and New York, I'll give us a win. 8-11. Charlotte Hornets at home. That's a tough one. They're probably going to make some changes. I'm going to say 9-11. So now we're 20 games in. We got to go 20 games in. I got us at 9-11. And in order to be 500, you got to be 18-12. We're at 9-11. That means we can only lose one more game from this point. Chicago Bulls at home. We win. No, we probably lose. We haven't beat the Bulls. I don't know. I'm going to give us a win because we haven't beat them. So let's say 10-11. So now we're on a streak at the end of the season. Miami Heat in Miami, loss. So that's 10-12. Minnesota at home, I'm going to say loss. 10-13. Wizards, 10-14. That's another loss. Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. You know, I don't know. Who knows what it'll be, but I'm gonna chop that up as a loss. All right, so that's 10-15. I think I got my calculations right. New York and Philadelphia, that's 10-16. That's a loss. Pistons at home. Who knows? Let's give us a win. All right, so that's 11-16. Orlando Magic at home, that's 12-16. And then our last two, and then we got Miami Heat at home. Let's take a win. 13 wins. Milwaukee at home, probably a loss. And then we got the Cavs and the Cavs again, and the season is over. So I don't think we get there. That's my opinion. I don't think we get there. No directions. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it. So Saucy, we can beat Philly, maybe. I don't know. But, I don't think we get there. I definitely I don't think we get 18 wins out of the next 30 games. I don't think it's there. You know what I'm saying? Um, some of those close losses we had hurt us for sure. You know, so there we go. There we go. We most likely don't make the playoffs. This stretch really did us in. Really did us in. Okay. Point guard situation. I'm gonna skip over that because we talked about that a lot in the beginning. Kind of switch some things around. I probably should have had my lineup switched around. So we'll skip over that. So looking at. If I'm looking at the team, if I'm Scott Perry, I'm looking at the team. I'm saying we're not going to make the playoffs. Yeah. We need to be 500 to make the playoffs. Definitely. I mean, you look right now at the 8th seed. The Pacers are 3 games above 500, and I think they'll stay at least 500 or above. So. Yeah, we've got to have to be at least 500 to make the playoffs, and 500 may not even get you in my opinion, this year. So looking at it, if I'm Scott Perry, I'm saying the team's not going to make the playoffs. We're not a playoff caliber team right now. We need, we need something to make the playoffs. But I don't think I make any trades to try to make the playoffs. Although I know, I've been rooting to make the playoffs all season. You know what I mean? I want to make the playoffs. I do. But because I know this is a team that we're trying to build for the future, there's no reason to try to make some crazy move to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think we just stay the course, take the season however it gets us, wherever it takes us, and then we try to grow from there with, good team management. You know what I'm saying? So I would hate for Scott Perry and Steve Mills to try to make a move to get us into the playoffs, and I don't think they will. That's not the way to go. We've got to continue to focus on the future. And if we make any moves, if we make any moves, we make moves that's going to free up cap space, or moves that's going to land us draft picks or young athletes, because we desperately need athletes on this team. Roland, you say another 32 wins. This one sucks. Well, maybe we only get the 32 wins this year. Who knows? Maybe we get a little bit more. But this is a season that we knew was going to be a rebuilding season. That's where we're supposed to be. We played well in the beginning, and it felt like we could possibly be a playoff team. But we're learning now that we're not. Saucy, you say that the Pacers are trash? I disagree. They're 26 and 23. Decent enough to right now be in a playoff spot. You know what I mean? Yeah, Roland, I agree. Them 43 wins might be that magic number. Melra, honestly, I haven't even looked too much into the draft right now. I haven't. But I'm going to start paying attention a little bit more. So I can't even answer you that question. Just being honest with you, bro. Can't even answer it. But so right now, that if I'm Scott Perry, that's what I'm looking to do. And if I can accumulate a couple of draft picks, I spoke about last night. Getting those draft picks they're valuable. They're really valuable. And I'm not just talking about having, your top 5 picks. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about draft picks in general because they create value when, they begin to outplay their contract. Now you have someone who's really valuable, and then you have chips that you can trade and you can do different things. Luckily for us right now, we have some young guys. We have contracts that are small. We have draft picks. We have some maneuverability. You know what I mean? Can we trade Lely for Jack and Thomas? Yeah, we're gonna trade Lely for somebody. I don't know. But we have some maneuverability. We have some assets. We're in a pretty good position. You know what I'm saying? Especially Harlem, looking at the trade deadline. I'm not going to say we're in a position to pull in somebody that's going to be like a savior or someone who's going to get us over top into the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying about the trade deadline. I think with the trade deadline, we should be looking to accumulate more assets. But when we start looking at free agency and the draft, we'll have some assets to move and to make some things happen and start to really add more pieces. So Scott Perry did well with that Melo trade. I still believe he did well with the Melo trade, even though the two teams have flip-flopped where we were from the beginning of the season. He still did well. Cantor, he did well with Cantor, getting the Bulls' second-round pick. Doug McDermott, he's done a good job. Of course, you see we got Trey Burke, who's playing well for us. Jared Jack in the beginning of the season really helped to he played well for us and helped to guide the team. So, they made some smart moves so far. I think they made some smart moves. And we can look forward to, I think, Scott Perry making some more smart moves. BN, you say clean house. So when you say clean house, who are you saying to clean out? Who do you think we clean out if we're cleaning house? And then I seen Clever for sure. You say sell all vets. Put them out there. Yard sale sign. All vets for sale. I don't think you sell all the vets. You got to have some vets around. Especially if you're gonna have a young team that you're building, you got to have someone to teach those guys. And you can't rely on coaches to teach them, not the life of basketball. You can't rely on that, because some coaches don't know the life of basketball. Some coaches do, but some coaches are out of touch with today's players. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have some vets because, you got a vet like someone like Jared Jack, who's 35 years old. He's young enough to relate to the young guys coming into the game, but he's old enough and has been in the league long enough to understand what you've got to do to, keep yourself healthy, perform, so you got to have some vets. You can't sell all your vets. You got to have your vets that your strong vets with a good basketball IQ and are strong-minded. You know what I mean? You got to have some of those guys out there. If you don't, you end up. You remember Washington a few years back. Washington had a bunch of young guys, JaVale McGee, Swaggy P, and them guys, and all hell broke loose. It was crazy because they didn't have any vets there to teach them how to be young men and basketball players. So you got to have some vets and mentors on the team. And guys like Courtney Lee, good vets. Even Jared Jack is a good vet. You know, your vets don't have to be playing, but he's a good vet. You know, BN, you said keep Timmy and keep Lee, keep KP, clean the rest out. Jeez, that's everybody. Clean the rest, clean everybody out. Trade Frank, trade. So you're saying get rid of Frank, get rid of Trey Burke, all of them, just clean all of them out. I don't know, man. I mean, right now, if Trey Burke continues to play the way he's playing, then he's valuable, right? Because you know, he has a contract, $700,000 to the end of the season, and then a non-guaranteed contract for next season that's like $1 point something million. That's value, especially if he gives us good numbers. You know, that's a lot of value right there. A lot of value. You know, so, you know, but you know, we got to have some vets. You know, I think you got to have vets on the team. You know, when you look at that 2012, 2013 team, it was full of vets. You had vets, true vets, and then you had young vets. You know, and that was one of the reasons why that team could excel. You know, Melo was a young vet at the time. Raymond Felton was a young vet. Tyson Chandler was a young vet. And then you had true vets like Jason Kidd, Rasheed Wallace. Those guys were true vets, you know, that could really help to keep guys in line, you know. So, yeah, BN, you was right. Yeah, you was ready to get rid of everybody. They keep KP, Timmy, and Burke. I mean, KP, Timmy, and Lee. Just trade everybody, huh? No, but I understand what you're saying, man. But you know, but I know, you know, we look and we say let's get rid of a lot of people, but there is something to be said for consistency too. You know, and I'm not saying we got to keep all the same players. Obviously not. You know what I mean? We don't have athletes. We don't have, you know, we need more youth on the team. You know, so, yeah, some people have got to move. Some people have got to go. And not because they're bad people are bad, you know, just because we've got to get younger and we've got to get more athletic. Some people have to go, but you do want to keep some people there just for, you know, for some consistency. So that what you have, if you're going to have the same coaching staff, and I say if you're going to have the same coaching staff, then you want to have some people that can help show those new people coming in what's happening, what's going on, what to expect, what your coach wants, those type of things. I guess we've got to see what Scott Perry is thinking. Who knows? Maybe Scott Perry does want to break it down and say, I want to build this team up with my type of players and my coach. Who knows? You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, he's trying to build a team right now, and he has a lot of somebody else's players on the team. You know, maybe it is a good idea that he says, hey, I want to build this up. I want to build this up with players that I believe win. Who knows? You know, but maybe that is something that he thinks about. And I think I'm on record as saying that I think Scott Perry will give Jeff Hornacek another year. But if he does decide, I want to build this team up with players that I like, players that I think win in today's basketball, then he may decide that he wants to get a coach that he believes plays the type of basketball that he wants to play. You know, and it could happen. It could happen. And Scott Perry could be looking at the team and saying, this guy, and this guy play the kind of basketball I want to play. This guy, and this guy does not. We're going to get him out of here. Who knows? Who knows? What this is what I do not want. And BN, I did see a comment where you said, you got to have consistency with good players, and you're right. You're definitely right about that. You got to have consistency with good players, but this is, let's say we did a fire sale and we came back with 4 guys, and then we got 5 guys. Say we came back with 5 guys, and we got 10 new players on the team. Then, everything that we do is then now starting from scratch all over again. That's why that's what I say about consistency. If you got 4, I'd like to bring back 7 guys at least. Then the other 7, 8 guys are new, but at least you have some consistency and some guys there. And you pick the 7 guys that you want. Of course, 7 guys that you believe can build and grow for the future or something like that, somewhere around there. But, especially with guys like Frank and KP, Trey Burke, if you're going to keep Trey Burke, Trey Burke obviously hasn't had that much consistency over his career, with the way he started in Utah and the way things went in Washington. Had to go to the G League. Consistency would probably help him. It's going to help Frank. It's going to help KP. If you can, you say 7 for what? That's what I'm explaining now. So you can have some consistency. If you're talking 7 guys on this team, you're talking about KP, Timmy, Frank, Trey, Courtney Lee, maybe Michael Beasley. That's 6 guys right there that you cannot, that you can't look at those guys and say that they shouldn't be on this team, right? And then you got a Damian Dotson. That's not 7 guys that you can keep on the team. And then maybe even you keep Jared Jack around so that you can have a veteran point guard, because you want to have a veteran point guard. You know what I'm saying? And then you fill in the rest with younger players. But I can tell you what, that's not going to happen for next year. Noah's probably still going to be here. I don't think that they're going to buy him out. Ron Baker's probably still going to be here because the way his contract is set up. Right? So Ron Baker is probably going to be here. Doug McDermott, maybe not. Kyle O'Quinn, maybe not. Let me see who else we have on the team. Lance Thomas, maybe not. You know what I mean? Those guys maybe not. But, right off the bat, you can name about 8 players. And yeah, BM, you're right. Yeah, I hesitated with Lance. I've kind of soured on Lance. You know what I'm saying? I really used to be a Lance supporter. I wanted him to do well, but I'm kind of souring on him. I've soured on him a little bit. But I believe that Jared Jack will be good for this team, not as a starter, but as a vet that can come off the bench, help provide some leadership. I think he'll be really, really good for this team going forward. I really do. You know what I'm saying? But those 8 guys that I named, and you still keep some consistency, you still have some veteran leadership. And then you still can fill in with some young guys. Now, it's probably going to be more like 10 guys. You know what I mean? Because Ron Baker, the way Ron Baker's contract is set up, and Joakim Noah, you're probably not moving them. So, a lot of this team is going to come back next year. It would be the summer of 2019, if it's really going to break down, that we would probably break it down, and you'd see, the team from this year be significantly different. Unless Cantor is traded. And I didn't add Cantor into that bunch. Unless Cantor is traded, sometime at the deadline, or I guess next year, or sometime. He's probably going to opt in, and he'd be on the team. So, I think next year you're going to see, a good group of these guys coming back for next year. With some changes to some players. But I think you'll see a good group of these guys coming back. Rambis needs to quit his post as a defensive coach. I'm not sure if he's still. Rambis just needs to be out of the organization. I don't see a purpose for him or a fit or a reason that he's here. For whatever reason he is, but I don't understand why. I got Skype open. If you guys want to Skype in, please join me. Join me for a little bit. I'll be on for a little bit more, maybe a half an hour more. I got to get up early. I've had a crazy last 2 weeks, man. Last 2 weeks have been off the charts. Super busy. I got another fundraiser tomorrow morning. I got to get up early for. It's been crazy 2 weeks, but I'd rather be busy than not be busy, right? Much rather be busy than not have anything else to do. But, the deadline is coming up. I haven't heard anything new, not much new information in the news, about what could happen with the Knicks. I think that we will, like I said before, I think Kyle Quinn is going to be gone. In my opinion, I think he's going to be done. I think Scott Perry is just looking for what's going to be the right deal for Kyle Quinn right now, and maybe even looking at package deals. I'm sure he's busy, and he just seems Scott Perry just seems so intelligent that I have a lot of trust in what he's doing or what he wants to do and what it sounds like and seems like he wants to do. But that's where I see us at the deadline. No new news right now. I think and with the deadline it's a little bit different than it's been in the past, because in the past the deadline was after All-Star break. And that's when, All-Star break, a lot of business would get done during All-Star break. Players talking to players, coaches getting together and things like that. A lot of rumors would come out of All-Star break. But now, the deadline is before the All-Star break, changes things up just a little bit. Changes it up. So what do you got? So where you guys at? Any calls? If you want to call in, please call in. Let's let's talk a little bit. Okay, we got somebody calling in. You on live? What's going on? What's popping, man? Who we speaking with?
Oh, hey, what's up, bro? My name is Amani.
Amani, do me a favor. Can you turn that down in the back?
Yeah, I just turned it off, bro.
Okay, cool.
Hey, man. It was a great win today. I'd like to see my man Trey Burke get these minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been actually seeing on your timeline. I don't understand why people want to get rid of Frank. He's a rookie. He's on a great deal. We haven't drafted a rookie since I don't even remember how long ago it was. It's like you can't want to kick this man off the team, and he hasn't even had to show you everything.
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't know. I can't really answer why some people would want to get rid of Frank right now. You got to let that man play. Yeah, Frank will be fine. Frank will be fine.
We live in. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
Some people are just kind of trolling us a little bit. Some people, I'm sure, really feel that way. That they want to get rid of Frank, and that's cool. They got their opinion, but I think it's definitely short-sighted. Okay, there you go on the screen. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? What's up?
So Frank is gonna be fine.
I actually think it's because like we've been losing for so long, and we
Mm,
do live in such a fast-paced city that we want instant gratification,
right,
but that's not how teams are built.
right,
If you actually really sit down and think about it, the Lakers they weren't built that way. They acquired one free agent in Shaq. They developed Dirk Fisher. They got Kobe Bryant in the draft. You know, you're gonna see their worst moments, especially when they're your rookie.
exactly, exactly. And
Um, what kind of trades do you think we should be doing? Like, what?
I think the main thing that we need to do is look at Kylo Quinn and what we can do for Kylo Quinn. Because Kylo Quinn he can opt out at the end of the season. He's likely gonna opt out at the end of the season because he's overplayed his contract right now. So I think the main thing that one of the best things that we can do is see if we can get something for Kylo Quinn. If we can package Kylo Quinn in a trade where we either bring back a draft pick or maybe a young small forward, a young long small forward. That's what I would really like. Then I think we did well. And then but I think that Scott Perry's really gonna he's doing an assessment right now. He's been on the road with the Knicks throughout this road trip. I think he's doing an assessment to determine whether or not this is a playoff team. And I think it's clear that we're not a playoff team.
Yeah, not at all, not at
You
all.
know, so I think that he's going to look at it and say, all right, what moves do I have to make? And we may see some vets go. I think he's gonna. I think we could see some vets go because there's a glut. You know, at a few positions on the floor, we got people playing out of position a little bit. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. playing the three. He should be playing the two. So you really want
I
to
don't,
have a longer three.
I don't mind
You
him
know.
playing the three sometimes, like during the game.
Hmm.
Um, Personally, like I think you're right. We do need a small forward, 6'9", who could switch defensively. It's either a small forward or I feel we need a big man to help get rebounds. Because I realize KP, I'm not gonna say he's soft, but I don't know if he's developed the physical nature to be in the paint 24/7.
Right.
So I mean, I would love if we could get Kenneth Faried. I've been wanting him on the Knicks. I think he'd be a perfect matchup next to KP. You have a versatile big man who's a defender, who gets rebounds, and he doesn't even care about any touches.
Right. But who comes off the team to get a Kenny Fareed? And I
Oh,
think Kenny Fareed's contract is pretty steep right now. We have to look at it.
it's I would love to see if we would be able to trade either Joakim Noah, our second round pick, and I don't know, give him one of the veterans, either Lee or Quinn, just for him. Just because I'm looking at it like this. I think Ken Fried only has like I think 2 more years left. You already know what he can do due to past experiences. He's only doing this bad because he hasn't gotten the minutes that he used to get. So my mind is like, if we can have him on a 2-year contract, KP's gonna be done, but I think this year, next year. So if everything goes right, if he's here and he already shows he can develop, we can sign him back. It'd be okay because that money isn't even being used with
Well,
Joakim.
yeah. I mean, with Joakim Noah, you know what I mean. I don't know how much Kenny Fareed makes. I think Kenny Fareed is probably, um, I don't even know how much he makes. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But and when we can look at it, see how much Kenny Fareed makes.
Right.
But we already got we got a glut of bigs. When you're talking about
Yeah,
Cancer,
him too.
Noah, Hernan Gomez. We kind of got a glut there. And then I think because Kenny Fareed, he's not old, but he's probably about 27, 28 years old. I think we need to be looking at guys. If we're making any kind of moves, we need to be looking at guys that are 25 and under.
like a Julius Randle or something like that.
Someone in that age range, and maybe like a Julius Randle. I don't know if we need
Right.
bigs. I think we've got to look at what's going to happen at the end of the season with our bigs, because Cancer can opt out. I doubt that he will.
Yeah, he's not going to.
Kylo
Tim,
Quinn, Yeah, 18 million. He's probably not too. Um, someone, Mike Murphy, just said Kenny Fareed is making $17 million a year. That's a lot.
How much is Joe Kim? I think Joe Kim is making the same, right?
Yeah, but they're not gonna trade Kenny Fareed for Joe Kim.
I mean, they're not
Nobody
even
want Joe
using
Kim
him.
Noah
They're
right
not
now,
even
man.
using Kenneth Faried though. It's like, why have an asset waste on them? You're right. I hear what you're saying. At least
Yeah,
they can throw him in case. But it's
right,
like, they
exactly.
him. Let us use him. Let us try something.
Yeah, let us do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Hey, I
feel
hear.
me?
Hey, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
You
the
know,
chat, man. I'm happy
definitely.
to actually done this, man. YouTube, I've been looking for something to just watch and talk about Knicks. I like the fact that you take into consideration what the other team might want in trades. Most times us as Knicks, we've been losing for so long that we've become maybe a little irrational as far as our
Yeah,
thoughts.
maybe a little shoot.
You feel me? So I like this page, man. Keep it up, man. If I can help in any way, you know what I'm saying? I'm always watching every game. But yeah, man, shout out to the chat, man.
All
Yo
right.
Black this time.
I appreciate it. Definitely, man. All right,
Yeah,
man. All right. Be
yeah,
easy. Have a good night.
yeah, man. You as well, brother.
All right. Yeah. You said the Nuggets aren't playing them. Kenny Fareed. A few years ago, I really did want Kenny Fareed, man, because Kenny Fareed is like he's a monster on the boards. He's probably not playing right now because he is a he is a small power forward. You know what I mean? And the NBA today is getting longer, and it makes it tough a little bit. Makes it tough a little bit. Kenny Fareed is, but Kenny Fareed is, he. I think on a veteran type of team, not veteran type of team, a vet team that is looking to challenge for the playoffs, challenge for consider themselves contenders. I think they'd be looking at someone like Kenny Fareed, but he makes a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be, let's take a look at Kenny Fareed. Let's see. So Fareed, well, he's making 12 million this year, 13 million next year. That's not crazy. So someone had said 17 million. That's not crazy. It's not crazy. If you could move somebody, I mean, the Nuggets, the Nuggets definitely aren't going to touch Joakim Noah. I'm pretty sure of that. Because right now they're playing Paul Millsap. They're playing. Wow, Paul Millsap, 30 million a year, just getting it, boy. They're playing Paul Millsap. They're playing Mason Plumlee. And that's why Kenny Freed's not getting no burn. And they might look to move Kenny Freed, but I don't think they're gonna look to move him to us because we don't have. And I don't think that Mills is even gonna look his way because we have so many bigs. If we didn't have any bigs, he might look for him. He might look to him because he's definitely an energizer bunny guy, man. Larry Nance Jr. Hey, he's Larry Nance. I like Larry Nance Jr. and he's athletic. We need athletes like him. But are the Lakers gonna move Larry Nance Jr.? I'm pretty sure Larry Nance Jr. is on a nice contract, a team-friendly contract. And they're trying to build a team too. If you look at Larry Nance Jr., Larry Nance Jr. is making $1.4 million this year, 2.2 next year, and then he has a qualifying offer in 2019-20 for 3.3. That's a lot of value. A lot of value. I don't think the late. If we want someone like him, we're definitely gonna have to probably give up a first round draft pick, and you know, I, you know, I don't know. I'd rather take our chances and see what we get in the draft. This year's Who said this year's pick for Kenny Fareed? I definitely wouldn't do that. That's a question. Kill V, Bevitz, you say, is it time to start Trey Burke permanently? I don't know. You know, we've been round and round and round and round with who the starting point guard should be, and it remains Jack. Right? It remains Jack. And, Hornacek, who knows? He's probably going to stick with Jarrett Jack until, the Knicks are definitely out. That's what I think. I think, or until Scott Perry says, hey, this is what we need to do. Kelly Oubre. We hear a lot about Kelly Oubre all the time in this chat. And I like Kelly Oubre. I really do. He's a guy I'd like to get on his team. He's young. He can play. He's got a big future. I don't know. What would you have to give up to get him? You know what I mean? He's on a decent contract, $2 million this year. He has a team option. There's a team option for next year, 3.2, and then a qualifying offer in 2019, 2020. 6'7", small forward. He's a good ball player. I like Kelly Oubre. What would we have to give up to get him? Bless Roberts, you say, no way we get Kelly Oubre or Porter. You may be right. You might be right. But you know what? Here's one thing, Bless Roberts. The Wizards, for sure, I don't think want to trade Kelly Oubre. But we always have to remember that there's business involved, And when you got guys who possibly could be a starter somewhere, those guys are like, I want my time to shine too. So if he's sitting there behind if he's sitting there behind Otto Porter, he might be like, when is it my turn? When am I gonna get my chance to shine? My brother, what's going on, man? What's happening with you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good win tonight.
Good win.
Yep. Trey looked good.
Yep. He looked good out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We passed the ball a lot better when he's in the game too. I like it.
It's that penetration.
Yeah, man.
That penetration.
He keeps that dribble alive. Something we're missing all year.
Right. Yeah, I like that. He keeps the dribble alive, dribble along that baseline. And Frank can't do that yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if Frank will ever be able to do that, to tell you the truth. Because he's so long, I don't know if he can get small enough to get along that baseline and get in those crevices like that.
I've been thinking that we should use Frank more off the ball, like at the 2, at the 3. I would have liked to see him covering Josh Jackson tonight, like somebody long and somebody, because we had no answer for him.
Yeah.
Those athletic guys kill us.
Yeah, all the time. I don't mind seeing Frank at the 2, man. I mean, I like seeing, and some people mentioned it in the chat earlier. I like seeing Trey Burke and Frank on the floor together. I think it works well.
They look good last game.
Yeah, it looks good, and they're able to Frank is able. They can feed off each other. Frank is able to handle the ball. Burke is able to handle the ball. You know what I'm saying? They can interchange. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you can play Burke off the ball as long as he has somebody. He's gonna have somebody his size on him. You can play Burke off the ball. Let him. He can shoot. He can shoot the 3, so he can spot up. I mean, they're both pretty versatile players. You know what I mean? And I think playing them together.
Trey showed he could score from anywhere. He was doing some stuff today, like Allen Iverson 2.0 out there.
Yeah, he could score from anywhere.
Yeah.
And
And I think Frank's confidence would help playing next to Trey, you know, running and having somebody that opens it up a little bit.
right.
I'd like to see a little bit more of that. I don't
Yep.
think that Hornacek should just put, you know, Frank on the bench after 9 minutes, man.
Yeah.
That's
I know,
happy.
man. He got to give that guy a chance to play a little bit. Got to give him a chance to play. Get a guy a chance to,
If it's all about the
like
progression of the young guys, Frank should be playing.
he should be playing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he keeps saying all year. Hornacek keeps saying all year. It's about the young guys. It's about the young guys. But he's not playing like it's about the young guys. You know what I'm saying? He's not playing.
Yeah,
So
he played Jack till the 8th minute of the first quarter today. Jack
yeah,
was like running in mud.
right, right. And he even in the third quarter, you know what I'm saying? He played Jack. He played that Jack, KP, Tim Hardaway, Courtney Lee. He played them guys until Hardaway hit his head on the thing. He played them guys all the way down to like 4 minutes or something in that third quarter.
Hardaway got hurt 3 times in this game, and he still led the team in
Yeah.
minutes.
Yep. Right.
Another thing I like. And then
Yeah.
the other thing I didn't like about Hornacek, last game Trey has 18 points, 11 assists, and we don't see him till like the last minute of the second quarter. Like, why aren't we rewarding these guys that are actually doing what they're supposed to do?
Right.
I'm not a fan of that.
He played 4 minutes in the first half.
That's like
Something
embarrassing.
4 minutes in the first half. You give 18 points and 11 assists, and you play 4 minutes in the first half.
It's unfair, I think.
Let them get out there and play.
Reward them for doing.
Exactly. And he brought him in. He brought him in the fourth or in the third.
Yeah, late still, but
late.
Thank God he brought him in because he actually saved our night.
Yeah, he brought him in the third. And then let him, play throughout, most of the fourth, most of the fourth quarter. But, he's got to just come to grips with that Jack isn't going to be the guy. He's just got to come to grips with it, man.
Start Jack, but take him out after the 4th, 5th minute, man. Put one of these young boys in there and let them run.
Yeah, because you can see, the energy difference.
You can see how it opens it up for everybody. KP starts to dunk the ball. You'll see layups. Even Hardaway had 3 or 4 dunks as soon as Trey came in. He opens it up, man. That penetrating, that dribble.
Yeah, that dribble. Yeah, and he's small. He's like, what is he, like 6 foot, 6'1", so he's able to get inside and get in those crevices. So far, his size hasn't hurt us on the defensive end so far.
He hustles on D. You can see he wants it.
Yeah. And I think that that's a testament to the fact that his career. He did some articles about it. He started off his career on a high. Like he was gonna be that guy for Utah, and then
it was the 9th pick.
It was the 9th pick, and then Utah, drafted some other point guards, and he was on the bench, wasn't even hitting the floor, wasn't even seeing the floor. You know what I'm saying? And then he went to the Wizards, wasn't seeing the floor.
Points his rookie year. That's a pretty good rookie year.
Yeah. But like his article said, he kind of lost his way a little bit. Lost his way, stopped working, stopped putting in, what he needed to, stop doing the things he needed to do to be successful in the NBA.
I read that he had an ego thing too.
Yep.
Like he was a little bit of a hothead with it.
Exactly. And so he had to go. He had to kind of reclaim his career. Had to get his head together, reclaim his career. So. You can see he's putting that energy and that effort out there. So hopefully, hopefully it pays off for him. Hopefully it pays off for us. You know what I'm saying? Because he's trying our defense. A couple lapses here and there, but that's every player in the NBA. So
yeah, I mean, even our best defenders aren't the greatest defenders in the world. I mean, he's trying though. You see him hustling. He
Yep.
had a couple of turnovers that he created with his speed.
Mm-hmm.
I think the G League definitely humbled him, and I think that he has that chip on his shoulder, and I think that
Yeah.
that only benefits us.
Right.
We have
Right.
him on the cheap. We have him for this year. We have him for next year. I
Yep.
like
Yep.
I like the Trey Burke.
And they got him on. He's it's an incentive laden contract kind of because his contract is non-guaranteed for next year. So um,
He's got to earn it.
he's got to earn it. He's got to make it happen.
He's got
Yeah.
to be hungry the whole time.
Yep. Got to make it happen.
He definitely what we've been missing though all year. That kind of guard that with the dribble, with the slashing, with he's not afraid to go in the middle. He doesn't stop
Right.
at the point line and start.
Right. Right. But hey, French, I'm gonna let some other guys come in, man. I
All
appreciate the
right,
call, bro.
always a pleasure.
Yep.
Marty, all the fellas, Tony Crow, Ismail, all the guys. Have a good night. Always a pleasure, guys. And Simeon, have a good night, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Have a good night, man.
And, peace.
Peace. Yeah, there we go. Like when people call in, like when we get repeat callers, man. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when we get repeat callers. I'm going to take one or two more calls, man. Then I'm going to head off for the night because, like I said, I got to get up early. But I appreciate everybody for being on and staying on late with me. The Knicks are. I was in a board meeting today and I was talking about the channel. You know what I mean? And people were like, "Wow, you got to be dedicated to stay on for that late or stay on for that long." And I was like, "Hey, it's the Knicks, man. Everybody in my chat, whether we agree or disagree, it's about the Knicks, and we do it all together for the Knicks." So, for sure. Ron, what's poppin', bro?
What's going on, my brother?
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
All right. Well, much happy that we got a road win and this road trip at least with a W.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So shout out to the Nothing But Knicks fam.
Yep, they're in the chat. They're here.
I hear you. So I kind of got onto the chat late because I was on my way to work when you guys when you started the podcast, and I only caught the game from like the second quarter on because I was actually trying to watch the game while I was driving, so it was kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I missed the first quarter, but I got nervous when I put on the game and I saw Tim Hardaway on the sideline. I'm like, oh Lord, don't tell me this boy got hurt again.
Yeah, man. Devin Booker was kind of frustrated all night. And Tim Hardaway stole the ball from him. Come down, fast break layup. Devin Booker. I don't know if he really tried to hurt him, but he grabbed his shoulder, grabbed his shirt. Hardaway hit the floor, and when he hit the floor, really what happened is after he hit the floor, his neck hit the bottom of the basketball hoop.
Oh, okay.
So kind of probably gave him, hurt his neck up a little bit. I think he'll probably be back.
So that was Booker's first tech.
That was his. No, that was his. That was a flagrant. Okay. He didn't get a tech for that. He got a tech.
Okay.
He got a tech before that.
I saw him get kicked out with when Cantor and him got into it. Well, it wasn't Cantor. I think Cantor was like talking some smack, and I just right now these referees. I think sometimes they're so scared for a fight to break out that talking trash. Now back in the day that would have been that wouldn't have been not even a call, but now it's like you can't even talk to another player before they give you a text. So
yeah, so I was surprised because I was surprised that they gave Cantor a tech on that too.
Exactly,
because he blocked the shot, he turned around. Now I didn't see him say anything. He just turned around.
Yeah, he was walking away. He got pushed.
Yeah, he pushed. Devin Booker pushed him into Greg Monroe, and then Greg Monroe jumped into Cantor's face. You know what I mean? But I think Devin Booker was frustrated and he wanted to get out the game because he knew that he had a tech. He knew that he had a flagrant foul. And he clearly pushed him and the referees could see him. I think he just wanted to get out the game.
Yeah, he told him to go hit the showers. It's like he's a scorer, so he's like, man, it's not my night. Let me go hit the showers.
yeah. He wanted to get out the game. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah.
I was going to
You see
ask you.
players do that sometimes.
I was going to ask you because the site when you if you can pull this up for me, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right stats. But if I'm correct, is it true that Golden State? Because I always hear about Golden State not only play good offense, but they play good defense. But is it true they're not even a top 10 defense? Because I'm looking at the some numbers here, and I don't see them not even in the top 10 in defense in the league.
Who Golden State?
Yeah. I see. They say San Antonio's number 1, Boston is 2, Miami's 3, OKC's 4. So I was shocked. I was assuming. I figured they would have been in the top 10, and they're always talking about the defense.
Well, let's see.
I saw something say San Antonio was like 97.38 per. Like that was number. I don't know if I'm looking at the right website.
So I usually just go to NBA.com.
Okay, all right.
To pull out the website, to pull out the stats.
Yeah, because it's like I would have thought that in the numbers actually for the top 10 defenses, I would think maybe it might have been a little lower, but it seems like even the best defensive team these days are still giving up almost 100 points a game. If I'm looking at the right stats, because I'm like, wow.
So what I'm looking at now, the Celtics have the best defensive rating in the NBA, 99.8. Then you got the Spurs, Philadelphia, Toronto, OKC.
So are the Warriors anywhere in there in the top 10?
The Warriors are number 6.
Okay, so I gotta go to the NBA.com instead. Okay, I have to leave this website alone.
Yeah, defensive rating of 103.3.
That's still kind of high compared to, because I know we were talking a while back about the maybe the philosophy or the type of team that this guy's Scott Perry is trying to put together. But I'm thinking like from that time on forward, I would think with the way the NBA had, with all the rule changes, the advantage would go to the offensive player, not the defensive player. So in my mind, I know you want to play good defense, but how much advantage with all these rule changes, you can't play defense like it was before.
Yeah, you definitely can't play defense like it was before.
Yeah, so some of these old school, some of these, I think that was happening, with Jason Kidd getting fired, which I don't know what the exact reason why he got fired, but I think sometimes some of these coaches or some of these older former players, they're accustomed to playing defense, but I think right now this, like right now what's going on with the coach in Boston, sometimes I think you have to have a combination of the old and the new. Because sometimes, if you have like Steve Kerr, I mean, even though he went to the Golden State Warriors, if he wanted to be like set his ways, he would like, no, we run the triangle and that's all we're doing. But you see, he does more than just run the triangle. He put his ego to the side. And I think sometimes that's what because right now, I'm wondering right now is what would it take for Hornacek to come back next year? Does he have to? I mean, because that's not his guy. I mean, do you think he's going to get his own coach or he's trying to see what he can do with this team for a whole year, whether they make the playoffs or not?
I think. Well, I don't think Hornacek's going to get fired mid-season unless something crazy happens.
So he's going to get the whole year, like up to see whether he makes the playoffs or not.
I think he's going to get the whole year, even if they don't believe that the Knicks will make the playoffs. Talking about Scott Perry, I think they're going to let Hornacek play out the year, and I actually think that they're going to try to get him some players that fit his system a little bit more, and then try to give him next year as well. That's what I think. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go and moved in another direction. If Scott Perry decided, I want to build this kind of team and this is the kind of coach that I need. But I think that what they might try to do is get Hornacek some players that he wants on his team, and then let him run his system. Because right now, Hornacek when Hornacek came to the Knicks, he came with the team stock full of players, set to run the triangle,
right? Which you probably never ran before, right? Because in Phoenix, Phoenix was more of that pick and roll stuff. He direct with Marvin and Steve Nash.
Yeah, he was a pick and roll, up tempo, fast break type of guy. You know what I mean? Now the thing with the thing is this: you can have players that fit the triangle that can also fit a speed attack. Because if you have a speed attack, that means you can have players that are players that are very versatile and can play different positions, so you can almost have anybody push the ball up the floor. You know what I'm saying? But Hornacek came in with some players. You know, the players that were on the team were guys that not. You know, you had some guys who were versatile, but you know they weren't going to be pushing the ball up the floor. You know, that's not the kind of guys that Phil Jackson brought in. There wasn't he didn't bring in guys that was going to push the ball up the floor. You know, so Hornacek was kind of, you know, he was stuck with those guys running the triangle. Now, you know, Phil Jackson is gone.
Right.
He's, you know, still stuck with some of those guys, but trying to put his system in. So I think Scott Perry seems like a fair man to me, and I think he's like, you know what, let's try to get him some guys that could. That's the whole thing with Trey Burke. One, Scott Perry has a relationship with him.
I think he fits. I think Trey Burke would fit Hornacek's system. What he wants to do, I think he would fit that system because the players that you have there, like realistically speaking, every team in the NBA runs some form of the triangle. Maybe they don't do it for the whole game, but every team in the NBA runs some type of a triangle offense. But I think with the Knicks right now, if we're fortunate enough to make it to the playoffs, I think when the game slows down the playoffs, I think guys like Beasley or Quinn, those guys you can do the triangle. I think those guys fit that. You could do that in the playoffs. But now we Burke and Hardaway and Cantor and Porzingis. Like I don't know if any of your callers mentioned this early because I kind of logged on late. I think you can let those guys. You can run with those guys. I mean, it's just the only thing is. I think at the end of the day, your best player, which is KP, he has to buy into your system. If he buys into that system, everybody will fall in line. But it's up to KP to say, "Hey guys, this is what we're doing." But I don't know if there's any issues right now with KP and Hornacek. I don't know if there's maybe he because he's Melo's not there, and now he's trying to be the number one guy. He's not used to being the number one guy, and there's a lot of transition going on. But with Trey Burke, I like the energy that he brings on the floor when he comes in.
Yeah, I like the energy. Yeah. Hey, Ron, I'm going to let you go, man.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you for the call.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one. Take it easy tonight, bro.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
All right, one.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I think that, like I was saying, I think that Hornacek, Scott Perry would probably keep Hornacek around next year. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if Hornacek is gone. If Scott Perry decided that he wants to go with his style, whatever his vision of the team is, and then he gets a coach that he wants to play his style of ball. Wouldn't be surprised, but I think Scott Perry, is going to try to get some guys that can fit Hornacek's style of play and then really give him a fair evaluation. That's what I think will happen. It's hard to evaluate him when he's playing with some guys that don't really fit what he wants to do. When you got, and there's some guys on the team that don't really fit what he likes to do. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to move on to talking about the Knicks in Brooklyn. We'll talk about that really quick. The Knicks have what? Beaten Brooklyn each time they played them so far this season. But it's never a given with the Knicks. If the team is serious about trying to make a playoff run, and Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., they talk about it all the time. KP, they talk about making the playoffs. And they want to be in the playoffs. So if they're serious, they got to take care of Brooklyn at home. You got to. You got to take care of Brooklyn. And, see, does this start something? But you got to take care of business. What the Knicks should be looking at right now. Yeah, Lily Phillips. We match up with them well. It should be a W. Should be a W. What the Knicks should be looking at right now, and if I'm Coach Hornacek, and I'm serious about trying to make the playoffs, regardless of, I'm serious about it. I'm telling them our playoffs start right now. Right? We start right now. It's do or die for us now. You know what I mean? That's the message that I'm getting across to these guys, so that we can come out and play with that sense of urgency and that sense of fight. You know, instill that mindset into them. It starts now. You know, we got to take care, and it starts with Brooklyn. Got to take care of Brooklyn. You know, and then, you know, looking at the next 3 games, you got Brooklyn on Tuesday, and then you got the Celtics on Wednesday. Take care of Brooklyn, then deal with the Celtics. You know what I mean? But if they're serious about it, then that's exactly that. You know, that's what Hornacek has to do. It starts now. Playoffs start for us right now. We don't have time to wait. We don't have time to waste, because it's obvious that we don't have, we don't have one of those teams that are overwhelming with talent and everything. You know, so we've got to go into that mindset a little bit earlier than everyone else. Other teams, they get into that mindset after the All-Star break. Now they come back like, okay, it's time to make that push, time to make that run. Well, we need to go into it early. Got to go into it now. Yep, got to do it now. But, guys, it's 1:30, 1:46. I got to get up early. You know what I mean? Got this fundraiser tomorrow. You know, got to go make that dough. Selling Krispy Kreme donuts. It's going to be cold outside in the morning, so I'm going to be freezing my butt off. You know, but, you know, it's all worth it in the end. You know what I'm saying? It's all worth it in the end. You know, this money allows my basketball team to travel. You know, we'll be traveling to Atlantic City, Atlanta, you know, playing in some big tournaments with Adidas. And so, you know, the effort and the sacrifice is definitely worth it. So I got to get up early. So I'm going to log off tonight. I'm glad we won. Thanks, everybody, for the conversation, for the debates. You know, let's keep it up. Have a good time. It's a great release for me. It's a great release for everybody. But I'm logging off. Have a good night. And I will talk to you all unless something happens over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? If something happens over the weekend, then I'll log on and talk about whatever that is. Yeah, I hope we rake in the dough. Hope we rake it in. Krispy Kreme and black coffee. We might need to have some coffee out there for tomorrow with the way it's going to be cold out there. Yeah, I know, man. No Krispy Kreme in New York. And Krispy Kreme glazed donuts are serious, man. It's serious. All right, Lily Phillips. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you on the line all the time, even though, you know what I'm saying, you know, we got some differences with Frank, but our heart is in the same place. It's all about the Knicks. I appreciate you, bro. But unless something happens over the weekend, then I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. And, you know, be safe out there. Peace.